We've been discussing password reuse and some of the security issues associated with reusing passwords across multiple sites. So let's take a look at some common strategies that are often utilized to manage multiple complex passwords. Number one, you write all your passwords down in a text file and store it on your desktop. The issue with that strategy is that if somebody gains access to your system, even for a few minutes, they have access to all your user data, accounts, and passwords in an unencrypted format. It's also one of the very first things attackers look for if they compromise a system. Next, we have people that will write passwords down on a sticky note and tape it to their system. Anybody walking through the office can see the username and password that you use to log onto your system. Clearly, those are not good ways to store and manage your passwords. There are numerous free tools on the market that allow you to securely manage your passwords in a secure manner. We're going to introduce one of those tools in a few minutes called KeePass. We have a security expert with us that's going to demonstrate this tool called KeePass. Let's take a look at it now and introduce and meet Phil. How are you doing today, Phil?
I'm great, Pierre. Thanks for asking.
Good.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do is open the KeePass application on the desktop. We're going to go up to File, and we're going to add a new database. In this case, we're creating a database to store any of those future passwords and usernames that we're going to put into the database. The first thing we have to add is a master password. A master password can be any password that you can remember, but please remember to keep it complex in nature.
Phil, what happens if we forget that master password?
Oh, remembering the master password is a critical element of a password manager because Password Manager gives you access to multiple passwords with one simple password. So if you were to forget the master password, you would essentially lose all access to the database and all the passwords and usernames contained inside it.
Okay.
All right, so now that I've created the master password and generated the database, the first thing I'm going to do is add a new entry. So in this case, the entry that I'd like to make is a new password for my Facebook account to update and replace a previously weak password that was used. As I mentioned earlier, the database is encrypted, so users, usernames, titles, any information that you add into the database is going to be protected and stored with encryption so that if an attacker were to compromise your system and gain access to the database, so long as they don't have your master password, they would not be able to recover the information inside it. Another neat feature of KeePass and other password managers is the ability to generate random passwords with almost unlimited complexity. Right, so here we have an example where the password that we'd like to generate is at least 30 characters in length. You also have the ability to add upper, lower digits, special character spaces, and all sorts of other complexity requirements to make the most secure password possible. So once you've chosen the selection that you'd like, you go down and click Generate a Password. It generates a very complex password for you, as you can see below, the password that you're going to end up using associated with the account that you created, in this case, Facebook. So you want to click OK to accept it. And now we have an updated Facebook password that we can replace our previously weak password with. So as you can see here, this is the previous password for the Facebook account. We log in with the weak password. We go to the passwords setting option and click Edit. We enter that current password. And a neat feature of KeePass is that you can go back and right-click on the entry and actually copy the password. So you don't have to manually select it and highlight it and paste it in. You can also copy the username if so desired. Go ahead and save changes. And now we've reset our password on a Facebook account from a previously weak password to a more complex password that will protect your information. The last thing we need to do is go back to the desktop and go ahead and get rid of that passwords.txt file that Pierre mentioned earlier, because now we have a password manager to help secure our passwords and our information.